Terraform block and required version. Before Terraform evaluates resources, before it understands providers, before it builds any dependency graph, it asks a single structural question: what rules govern these configurations? Not what will be built, not where it will be built, but which version of Terraform is allowed to reason about this file. This question must be answered before meaning exists. The Terraform block is not infrastructure configuration. It does not describe desired state. It defines constraints. This block governs two different things: the Terraform binary itself and the external plugins it will load. Same block, different responsibilities. Confusing them leads to fragile mental models. Required version governs the engine. It constrains which Terraform binary is allowed to interpret this configuration. Required providers governs the plugins. It constrains which external systems Terraform is allowed to speak to. Same location, different layers. One controls interpretation, the other controls translation. Engine first, plugins later. Terraform reads this before it parses resources and before providers are considered. From this alone, Terraform infers only binaries at or above 1.14.0 may interpret this configuration. If the version is too old, Terraform does not warn, it does not guess, it produces a COI error and stops immediately. Cold, deliberate, non-negotiable. Nothing else is evaluated. This is not about missing features. It is about change meaning. Different Terraform versions can evaluate expressions differently. They can build different dependency graphs from the same text. Without a version constraint, the same configuration can describe two different truths. That is not inconvenience. That is semantic drift. And Terraform refuses to lie. A version constraint does not guarantee identical behavior forever. It narrows the interpretation window. It reduces ambiguity. Often, this window is narrowed further using pessimistic constraints. The tilde greater than operator, it allows compatible evolution without uncontrolled reinterpretation. The Terraform block lives outside the dependency graph. It is evaluated before variables exist, before resources exist. This is why it cannot depend on variables or resources. And here's the logical reason. Terraform must know which version rules apply in order to know how to parse a variable. Therefore, a variable cannot define the version. That would be circular. Terraform prevents this by design. Terraform will never guess your intent, translate syntax across incompatible versions, silently reinterpret meaning. When the contract is violated, Terraform stops. Not out of hostility, out of precision. This refusal protects correctness, and correctness is the foundation of trust. The Terraform block defines interpretation boundaries. Required version constrains the engine. Required providers constrains the plugins. Both are contracts, neither is infrastructure. Terraform either agrees to reason within those boundaries or it refuses to reason at all. That refusal is the most honest behavior it has.